Hi, it's Peggy at Headshots by Peggy, and boy, do I have a treat for you today. Stephany Burns from Avalon Artists Group, one of the top commercial agencies in town, is joining me via Zoom, and we are going to talk all things commercial and probably a few other things.
All right. Let's talk. What do you want to talk about?
Well,
What's on your mind, lady?
we're kind of in this new world now, right?
Yeah, it's a little crazy. It's stressful and scrambling and trying to figure out a system.
I know that Merrick's had auditions, and you've had auditions. Your husband, your kids, like we're still auditioning. It's just totally different. Like everything's different. So, what do you think? What do you think we should all know?
Where do I begin? That for Zoom meetings, you only need to dress from waist up.
I'm wearing sweatpants. What? No.
Pajamas on bottom. Okay, well, let me start by saying, I mean, this is just, it's crazy. I mean, we've had like a couple weeks to totally scramble and come up with a new system. So what I'm finding are the sink or swim people are the ones that have access to already having their equipment, having the mic, having the camera, having the backdrop, having a stand. If they were already self-taping, it's like, boom, they're getting the audition notices and they're self-taping. Not to say that people who don't have that equipment aren't. It's just, it's kind of happening right now. And there's a handful of people that I'm talking to all day, every day. And then some other people that I haven't talked to in like 6 weeks now. So I don't know. Like if and when it all kind of goes back to a normal situation, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I did have a casting director a couple weeks ago email me and say, "Hey, we're just taking kind of like what's attendance for what agents are taking this time to just lay low and do something else, and what agents are still, trying to keep working. And we just want to know where Avalon is." And I'm like, right here.
I know you're working. I watched your Instagram live, and I'm watching you, and clearly you're keeping in touch with Merrick, and Ted's keeping in touch with Sam, and I mean that's great because it keeps us sharp. And this is something I've told actors for months and months and months is whether you have an audition every single day, you should be self-taping. So when you need it, you're ready. And the people that took my advice, you're welcome.
That'll be $100.
Right? Like 8 weeks ago, I did my vlog was like, okay, so they're probably going to do a lot of self-tapes going forward. And then it was like, oh my God, we're on lockdown. We're in quarantine. Like, this is it. This is, but
I actually thought it was going to be all self-tape, not self-tapes.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be all renewals. I thought they were just going to renew old commercials. I mean, they are, but they're not. I don't know. They are and they aren't, kind of. I don't know.
Some commercials, they're asking you to film it yourself. They're doing Zooms, or they're doing, self-tape kind of stuff, and they're putting it in. It's fun to watch commercials now and go, oh, they did that in their living room.
Yeah, there's a fast food commercial where they sent the food to the actor's house, and they had to tape themselves like eating it and taking a bite of it, and then they used that for the commercial. So it's like we're just all just trying to figure out what to do and scramble with it. It's a lot of voiceover.
And voiceover is a big thing. I think a lot of commercials are just adding new voice if their commercials already, just kind of where they're adding new voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, new edits, new voice, and then keeping kind of the same spot, except for crowded scenes. I noticed that they're taking all those edits out of any crowded scenes.
Because that's not the world we live in anymore.
No. In fact, actually, there was one commercial that was getting renewed but it's kind of not now because they were in a restaurant, but there was only 3 guys in it, but they're in a restaurant. So it's like,
Wow.
so I know.
So I know I was wanting to upgrade my sound equipment and some mics, and I was just kind of dragging my feet on it. So when this all started, like I ordered. In fact, most of my stuff has come in, but the rest of it will be here Monday, because having access to some things are beneficial at this point.
Well, and going off that, I had about 60 voiceover actors that not all of them had a paid, home studio. A lot of them would go record at a recording studio. And now that they can't, originally we were still submitting them with with them in their closet kind of a thing. But now casting's very specific. You have to have the paid version of Source Connect. You have to have a high quality mic. You have to have this, you have to have that. And so my 60 person roster is now about maybe 15, 20 people that I can submit for voiceover.
Right.
And the other 40 people, I don't know what's going to happen. They're either going to do it or they're not, or I don't, but you can't ask these people to pay for these expensive equipment unless they already have something going, or it's their like lifelong dream. And if it's their lifelong dream, then you should have it anyway.
Well, for me, I do it for clients anyway. Like it was time for me to upgrade a few things, and jump on and be more available. So it was a good excuse, at the same time, a necessity.
Well, and then today I saw there was a breakdown today where every single person that I submitted, and I have to find this out. So of course I posted on our private Facebook page. I need you to comment with what kind of camera you have. If you have a good camera equipment, what kind of mic you have, and what kind of lighting you have. And even like a ring light, like Sadie, my daughter, she wanted a ring light for her TikToks, but it's funny though, because now I'm using her ring light, not right now, but we're using her ring light for self-tapes. Yeah. So if you have a ring light, and I think we got it for like $20 on Amazon.
Yeah, they also have some really good LED video lights that are fairly inexpensive and really, really good. You can change the color, you can change the power, so you can get stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if this is what you want to do, and it's going to be like this for a while, then why not? I mean,
why not? And hey, worst case scenario, you spend some money and get some good lighting, and you'll have good lighting for your TikToks, right?
And for all your friends and family videos that you make. Exactly. I know.
No, but seriously, it's just so weird right now. And I think everybody's in a panic going, am I ever going to work again? Am I, what do I do?
Yeah. I'm from going, I having a lot of bookings a day, a week, to 0 is like really freaking me out. And for me, commission wise, I don't see the results for 3 months. So I'm fine now, but I'm going to be screwed in 3 months, but I'm usually screwed in the summer anyway. I have like don't teachers get like they get paid 10 months out of the year? I feel like I do too. So it's like during the summer, we're lucky if we make any commission, but we're just kind of learning to live with what we have.
So is there a busy season for commercials then? Is there I know in theatrical there's used to be kind of pilot season, episodic season, blah, blah. So does commercials kind of run a cycle as well?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Same cycle. Any kind of special event, any holiday, it gets busy. Christmas time, it's really busy with all the holiday commercials and, Black Friday. And, I had a couple of bookings for Mother's Day this year, right before it shut down. So some of them already shot it and some of them didn't. And if you shot it, you were lucky, but I don't know if it's going to air because it's a clothing store. And so they'd have to change it to go online to buy these things for Mother's Day. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, because if you did get your day rate, you may not get any kind of airing because they may end up not being able to use it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I know
and you don't get a cancellation fee either. If you didn't shoot it, if you booked it and you didn't shoot it because of the shutdown, according to SAG rules, force majeure, you don't they don't have to pay it. They don't have to pay because it's not canceled.
Right. It's postponed indefinitely. Is that kind of how?
Yeah. So they don't have to pay them. And I had a girl in that situation that didn't get paid, and it didn't shoot. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe come September, I mean, I really don't think anybody's going to be doing anything major, at least for another 3 months. At least that's my guess. And of course, I'm guessing.
Right.
But they're going to slowly roll out these shoots where it's like, 5 people on set, or they're going to send you all the equipment, or that's what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah.
By September, we'll be in a totally different situation. Hopefully,
Now,
sorry.
how is this time for you as far as, I don't know if your roster's completely full, if you're looking for new talent. Is this a time where people can submit to you? Is this a time for them to get your time to say, hey, look at me? How's that work for you personally?
So I have to meet you in person. I have to. You can send me your headshot resume reel. I'm right now banking them in a folder. Then once we're able to start taking meetings again, then I'm going to. But years and years and years ago, when I first started out, I was submitting people when I was a junior agent that I had never met before, just going, this person looks good for the job, and then come meet them and you're like, oh God, oh wow. Okay. So lesson learned. And that was, over 10 years ago. So now I've learned my lesson. I have to meet you in person. I have to fall in love with your personality. Just because you have an amazing headshot and resume, what if you're a jerk? I don't know. I don't want to rep mean people and jerks, and I don't know.
Right. And then you get to set and you're a jerk. And then they're like, man, I don't want anybody that Steph sends me because she doesn't have very, I get it. I
have to meet him in person. And and I have talked to other agents that have said like, oh yeah, I'm signing a person here and a person there or whatever. But quite honestly, right before this happened, since January, and I don't sign a lot of people that often. I keep a small roster. We all stay together. Nobody leaves. It's my family of 300. I did have a couple people leave recently to go on shows, which is great. So I signed about 10 people kind of right before the shutdown from January to March. Usually I take meetings with people over the summertime when it's dead and I have nothing better to do. I'll take meetings. But this year I actually took meetings from January to March. And they were mostly referrals from other people that really, really like sold these people to me. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to meet with them. And and then I did. And then I fell in love with them.
So I know that we're all in quarantine. We're all at home. None of us have our hairdressers or, salons or anything.
I cut my own hair. Can you tell?
You look gorgeous. You're doing.
No. Look, I cut my own hair.
That's awesome.
I'm in the bang club. I did the whole thing. See? I did the bangs.
I've been sending daily updates to my hairdresser because he's, lifelong friends anyway. So I'm like, okay, look what I did today.
I'm kind of wondering
a few weeks ago, and
yeah. Well, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, hairdresser wise, like if I'm self-isolating for 2 weeks and you've self-isolated for 2 weeks, and we know for sure.
See, I know what you're going
my hair real quick. No, I'm so freaked out. So I did it myself, and I just did kind of the bang thing. I baked the bread. I've done the TikTok. I've done the bang. I've done everything you're supposed to do in quarantine. I don't know what's next.
That's funny. So, what is your funniest quarantine story? It could be your kids, your husband, your dog, whatever. But tell me your funniest quarantine story.
Well, I don't know how funny it is, but I bought an inflatable jacuzzi.
Oh yeah, we have one in our backyard too. I know exactly where you're going.
Oh my God. Well, you get those stupid sponsored ads, and we don't have a pool yet. That was in our. That was phase 2 of our home remodel. And then, you run out of money, and then you're like, oh, well, I guess we're going to get the pool when we win the lottery. And so we have nothing in the backyard, and it's so hot. And, the kids are dying to do something, and they usually go to grandma and papa's to go swimming. So I scrolled it. I saw it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to get it. But the saga of getting it was like, you couldn't, there was no websites that had it. And then in California, it had to have a cover on it, like a special cover. And then it finally came, but the directions were 80 pages. And then it takes 4 days to heat. So like we plugged it in and turned it on to heat. And we like had our bathing suits on, like crack a beer. We're like ready. And it's like, we were like watching paint dry. And then I finally Googled it. I don't know why it took me that long, but I finally Googled it and it was like, how long? I Googled like, how long does it take to heat an inflatable jacuzzi? And immediately it was like 20 hours. And I thought, all right, well, I guess I'll see on Sunday, you know? So we finally went in it last Sunday. It was super fun. It was amazing. It never got like really hot. It said it was 100 degrees or 105, but it started to get lukewarm. So I'm trying, how do I keep it warm?
I that's the same thing we're seeing too. I think
I mean, I put a lid on it. But
yeah, we keep the little cover on it too. But
yeah.
I think at like 104, but then when you take the cover off and you're running the jets and you're setting in it, I think it kind of goes down to 100 pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. And who knew that you needed to be in more than 100 degrees? Like, I think it's going to be good in the summer with kids and just leaving it out type of a thing. And right now it's in the shade. Maybe we'll move it to the sun, but I mean, that's a definite quarantine purchase that I'm very like, well, that's a random purchase.
I feel like I spend way too much time on Amazon, but I have, like I said, I've upgraded all of my equipment. I got a couple of new backdrops. In fact, with you in mind, well, my commercial actors in mind, I got some bright, I got a pink and a yellow backdrop just because I know like the kids, I see a lot of headshot photographers using the bright colors. So I was like, okay, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon and we'll get some bright colors.
You know, I'm such a natural light headshot person that to me, I'm more of like, yeah, where it kind of looks like you're in a room, but it's like fuzzy in the background. I tend to.
That's how most of mine are. But I was like, all right, Amazon had these backdrops for $16. So let's get a bright blue one. Let's get a bright.
I mean, now's the time, right? Now's the time to try anything. I mean, Sadie got this like kind of funky tapestry that she really wants to hang on her whole wall in her room. And you know, the first thought I was like, what if that'd be a cool backdrop? Like, you know, mine's just definitely going.
Oh yeah, I got my dream lens, so I'm like, I'm all set. Like these are things I should have done a long time ago, but I kept putting off. And now I'm like, I have time to play, so I'm gonna get this and get this. So
What kind of camera do you use?
I use a Sony A7R3.
Okay.
So it's the 4K, it's the fancy mirrorless.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I have a couple of really good lenses.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking if these, you know, if these actors are, you know, really like, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? I'm like, build a home studio,
Yeah.
but build it well. And, you know, but I don't know the answer I don't have a home studio. So, you know, we always went to self-tape at professional self-taping studios because you'd also have a reader and, you know, they'd send it in. And so I just didn't have to worry about it. You know, it was
And
like
editing it. Editing it.
It's stressful.
In fact, just before you came on, Merrick, of course, had a same day audition. I'm lying. It wasn't same day. He got the sides last night, but we went and recorded it this morning. And in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, we'll have plenty of time. And then I'm like, oh crap, I have to edit this before I jump on with stuff. So I'm like, okay.
Totally. I know. And I'm using like iMovie, which should be super easy, but even just trimming it and like putting it one after the other and trimming it. I'm like, I just spent 2.5 hours on this. I'm like, it's so worth the money to just pay somebody to do it. But now I can't. So now I'm forced to figure it out. And I'm like, I'm not an editor. It's not what I'm good at.
Merrick is a little bit spoiled, so he wants his name, you know, to fade in and fade out, and he wants all these little.
I mean, iMovie can do that, or video shop. Is it Video Shop? I use Video Shop.
I use Adobe Premiere, so I don't. And it's funny because you know what you know. So to me, iMovie is hard because I'm like, I don't know how to do things. So if I have to do something on my phone, I'm handing it to my 15-year-old going, edit this.
Totally. I know, I know. How is your how are they holding up? Like, are they okay in quarantine?
Yeah, I feel like their schools really dropped the ball on this long distance schooling. I feel like there's been no learning going on. They had a really cool math project. They had to make um, they had to make a 3D Disney character
Oh,
and then find the like, what do you call it, the mass of it or whatever, like do math with it. So they had to
that's
create
cool.
this boxy, thing. So they've got, graham cracker boxes and toilet paper rolls and cardboard, and but it
Yeah.
gave them something to do all day. It was like an all day kind of thing. So I think that was kind of the coolest project they've had. Aside from that, I feel like they spend about 2 hours a day doing school, and I'm like, I feel like your teachers could give you a lot more work than this.
Yeah, and then she'll go, I'm done. I've done everything. And honestly, I don't know how to check her work. Because I'm like, I don't where do how do I look? Where do I now and then
Whatever they show us, it does appear that they're done, but I don't know if they're just, I don't know.
I don't know. And then Keaton, I have to sit with him through the whole thing. And he has like an hour of a Zoom with his teacher every day. And then the rest of it, I have to sit next to him and like hold the pencil.
See, that's the thing. I'm so thankful that I have a high schooler because they don't have. I wish their teachers would do Zoom just so they could see,
Yeah.
people and
Like, I don't understand why they can't do it like the same Zoom as like when their classes were. I don't get that.
yeah, I don't either. But they get an email in the morning and it's like, have this done by Friday. And it's like, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know. It's really hard. I'll be happy when it's summertime so I can just focus on my job and not job and teaching.
Yeah, because I don't really have to teach. So, because, high school, they're supposed to be doing their own thing anyway. So I'm
Yeah.
glad I don't have an elementary.
Yeah.
Now, what grade is Sadie in?
Sadie's in sixth grade right
Okay,
now.
so that's middle school.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's still probably a lot of hands on for you, though.
I'm not doing, no, I'm not doing
Oh,
anything. The only thing I helped her with was her audition for her to get into the drama program.
oh,
That was
cool.
a self tape. But yeah, no, any like math. Oh,
That's, yeah. Yeah, so Merrick does all the math. I'm not. Well, who am I kidding? Merrick does all the homework questions. I'm like, ask Merrick.
nice. Good. That's great.
I'm a photographer. I didn't do the schooling thing. Come on. Let's be honest. That's funny. So what else? What do you want your actors to know? Like what? I mean, just I think people need to keep creative for their own mental. I have to assume that I'm not the only one that gets edgy when I'm don't get to create.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, one thing that I try to keep telling actors is just be ready, be ready. And I know that sounds really anxious, anxiety driven, but these breakdowns that I'm getting are due immediately. And it's like, if you just happen to be like, you know what, I'm going to put my phone down today and not be on my phone and unplug, that's going to be the day, of course, that you get this, breakdown for a self tape that's due at 6 p.m. And then you're like, I didn't look at my phone today, so be ready and be willing and be available, obviously. And I mean, it's so hard. I get it. I get it. I'm on the other side of it too, because I have Sadie, who's also acting. Keaton, I have to do a self tape for him today. Jason will still get a self tape for things. So I get it. I get, like, I have to have, like, I have compassion and empathy for people that um, have to do this. And they're like, oh God, right now I don't want to do this. I'm in my pajamas and I'm like binge watching Ozark, and now I have to get up and do it. I get it. It's kind of annoying too, but how else are we going to stay in the game? And how else are we going to keep it fresh? I mean, I know you're not going to be excited every time you get a self tape right now. I get it, but just do it. And you know what? You actually feel better. Sometimes when I finish it and I send it, I'm like, oh, I accomplished something today.
I think that it feels like that to me. It feels like, even if it's just for a contest or a little silly thing on Instagram, it's like, look what we did.
Yeah. Look what I did today. Yeah. And it's so stupid, but it's like, it's just accomplishing one little thing, so, yeah. And, I'm trying to keep up with a lot of casting directors right now are all using their Instagram,
Uh-huh.
and doing a lot of Instagram lives. So like ASG casting does it once a week. Today, actually, Ross Lacey and Allison Horn are going to do it. So I tell any actor, if you should be on Instagram, and look at, they'll post like the days and the times that they're going to be doing either Q&As or just, talking to the world about what they're experiencing. As an agent, I jump on it totally. I'm like, yesterday, there was, I can't remember who was on. Killian was with somebody yesterday from Killian's workshop. And I jumped on it because I'm like, I want to hear what this agent has to say, or this, acting teacher, why wouldn't I want to know what everybody's experiencing? So I highly would recommend people being on Instagram, follow casting directors, and watch their live videos, because that's what they're all doing right now is, Instagram Live.
So what would you say to an actor that's like, but my hair doesn't look good, I'm not going to self-tape?
Really?
I have actor friends. They're like, Merrick's still doing self-tapes? I'm like, yeah, Merrick's. But my hair, I'm like.
I hear you. Okay, so here's an example of what we did. I mean, so film and TV is different than commercial. Film and TV, I would go raw, go real, go whatever you already are and make that your character, But with commercial, it is very, toothpaste, Colgate, P&G, So I did have an actor recently, she got a self-tape and she sent me a photo. She's like, okay, just so you know, in the last 6 weeks, my gray is growing out. And she's like, do you want me to film with my gray? Or this is a wig I use actually quite a bit. And I'm not a huge wig person unless you would never know the difference. And it's like who you are and what you do and what you wear all the time. But she actually looked so good. And like, I couldn't really tell the difference. And it was just a normal brown, short hair. She looks that way anyway. So it wasn't going like totally off the thing. I know people that have used the Cover the Gray pen thing. So she shot her spot with a wig on. But I only recommended that because she showed me both photos and that one just happened to look better. And it was due and she didn't have a pen. So, we're working with the tools that we have right now. But if people say, because they don't like their hair, can you wear it back? Can you wear it up? Can you
do something?
You got to be able to do something. Spend a night just playing with your hair. Like if you don't know how to do your hair, spend a night, be like, tonight I'm going to learn how to do my hair or my makeup. Tonight I'm going to learn makeup for
You
camera.
can definitely go on TikTok, on Instagram, and find makeup and hair tutorials. Just hashtag makeup or whatever. And I mean, they're all over the place.
You have time now to learn. And my joke for makeup, I mean, it for me, but not for is more. The eyelashes, I mean, you don't want to look goofy, but sometimes you think you're wearing a lot of makeup, but you're not. And so for the camera, you tend to want to go a little bit bigger.
Especially with when you're self-taping, your lights might not be, what you're using. Look at yourself. Put makeup on. Turn on your lights where you're going to self-tape, do a little video, and then go back and watch it and go, oh, I thought this looked good, but it doesn't. Like, I need to put a little more, contour in. I need to put a little more eyelashes on. I need to do a little more lips, whatever it is. But look at it. See what it looks like, because that's what you need to look good in, is the environment you're filming in.
And if you shot the whole thing with your hair like that, you're going to be so annoyed. Yeah. So do a test run, do a test hair and makeup.
Exactly.
What else?
I don't know. What else should we talk about? I'm just happy to have somebody besides Merrick to talk to, so we can hang out all day, stuff.
I mean, just that there's no rhyme or reason anymore. Right now, it's just a big old cluster and we're all just trying our best. I mean, one question. And then my other question for casting directors right now is that I'd like to know is, are they being fair right now in quarantine in terms of, there's 2,000 talent agencies, right? And then they get one breakdown. Are they putting it out there to all the talent agencies, or are they just picking specific ones? And if they are picking specific ones, are they being fair with not giving one talent agency 30 appointments? Because I think that's kind of not really fair. I think that, we're all trying our best. We all have solid talent, hopefully. And I'm just curious.
I know you do.
I mean, but like, it's weird because I heard an agent the other day say, oh yeah, I got 30 appointments. And I was like, if the casting director is only going to watch 150 tapes, I mean, if that, and that that casting director gave that talent agent 30 appointments, they're not even giving anybody else a chance. And so I'm hoping right now that casting directors, as much as they're probably being bombarded, because there's so many more of us than there are of them, are they still giving equal opportunity? Or are some of these talent agencies, I mean, hopefully not us. I mean, we're doing okay right now, but these poor talent agencies are going to sink. Yeah. And it's really it makes me sad thinking about these talent agencies that they're not even giving them a breakdown. They're not even trying. And I'm like, that's not fair. You should at least look at what they're submitting and try. And, if it's crappy people, that's on them and whatever. But, so that's my two things right now where I'm at. What I'm thinking about is what's going on a casting director's mind.
So another thing I wanted to make sure I brought up on the vlog, and this is something you said in your Instagram live, and you were saying you get a breakdown that says, family with a dog, and you have no way to know if your talent has a dog or whatever. So I think now is a good time for talent to let their agents know, hey, just so you know, we have 3 kids at home and a dog and a cat, and I have this kind of equipment. That's not annoying to you. This is vital information that helps you, right?
No, now is the time. Now is the time to email me photos, videos, pictures. Hey, Steph, I'm at home with a bird and it's a parrot, and this is the parrot and it talks every day to me. Or I'm just getting such random things that it's good to communicate with me right now. I mean, for our soul and sanity, it's kind of good to communicate with people anyway, but to let me know, hey, my husband, he's not an actor, but he is totally ready and willing right now. And now we have a real couple here, and then I'll go, great, that's good to know. And for as long as, for the next 4 months, you might as well, what's $25 to put up a picture of the two of you on LA Casting and keep reminding me,
Well, and right now, this is posted, we're recording this a week before, so I'm assuming that this offer is still going. But LA Casting, if you upgrade to $25 a month, it's unlimited uploads right now.
Oh, see, the only thing about that is I really don't recommend actors paying for those websites unless they want to get the breakdowns themselves.
Yeah, but if you do that, you can do unlimited uploads, and then when this is all over, you can go back to the unpaid and all your uploads are there instead of paying $25 or $20 a thing.
Oh, so it's like a loophole.
So, I think it's because they know that, it's kind of bad for them to be charging a huge fee because there's not really stuff going out. So
I know, it's so stupid because we constantly need new photos all the time. That's how they make their money,
Well, here's my photographer's point of view on that. Back in the olden days, you would spend tons of money buying a bazillion 8x10s.
The box of 500.
The box of 500, and now you just pay the $25 and you can submit it a bazillion times. So it is and it isn't.
Yeah, I get it.
It is and it isn't. So.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just concerned about people that think they have to pay a monthly fee.
Oh, yeah.
Casting Frontier, you do if you want unlimited photos and breakdowns. I don't remember what
breakdowns
we did.
Is really.
I think you could swap them out.
Price, yeah.
Yeah, I think I could. Actually, no. Every time I add pictures for Sadie, I have to pay for it. It's like $10 though.
Yeah,
so it's really, add 4 at a time. It'll be $40. But with That's what's so funny. So many people don't realize as an agent, I'm also acting as what actors go through for Sadie. So I have to go on those sites. I have to frickin' pay for it. I have to upload the reel. I have to, you know, I do the same thing, but I do it for Sadie and keep, you know, uploading those photos and paying for those photos. I get it, but we're doing it. And I update their resumes. I update their size sheets. And so when I see actors not doing it, I'm like, I'm doing this and that.
When I have clients that come in and complain to me about, but it costs so much money. I'm like, are you like it doesn't I think it costs more back in print days.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't. And this is literally your headshot. You have to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it has to be good.
And it has to be good. And it's like, you want to save money on something that's that important and then spend money on ring lights. It's like, no. Get your priorities straight, you know?
I know. But I've been really lucky though, because when I do tell people to do something, they do it. It's very rare that I'll say, you need new headshots. That's not why, this is why you're not getting any auditions. And they're like, no. I mean, it happens, but it's rare. And the people that go, no, then I'm like, okay, keep doing what you're doing. And what's going to happen is what's been happening.
The definition of it, what is it? The definition of insanity, doing the exact same thing over and over and expecting something different.
Exactly. So I just go, oh, okay.
Now I remember you, because it surprised me, because I asked you this question one time, a long, long time ago, about hair. You're like, yeah, if you're not booking, like, change your hair, do something crazy. And I was like, because in my head, it's like, you got this look, this is what I'm promoting, I don't want you to do something crazy, but you're like, go for it. Like,
well, I think it's because if something's working and you have that haircut that works, yeah, don't touch it. Don't change a thing.
Yeah.
But if you are just not getting appointments, or you're not booking, or, I mean, if you're not booking, it's more about class. But if you're having a hard time getting your foot in the door, sometimes it's because of your look. Maybe it's just too run of the mill. Maybe it's just too broad. It's too simplistic. There's just too many of you. But if you do something different, like cut your hair or color it or, whatever, then you're a little bit more interesting.
And here's another thing that just my point of view on this is not only that, but it makes you, it gives you the self-confidence. Sometimes just the changes you, and that projects. Yeah. That in itself projects. It may not be about the haircut. It may be about how you feel about the haircut and how you project that confidence in that.
This is a total side thing. It just made me think is one of my actors a couple of years ago, she had really, really long brown hair, and she's like, I'm not booking, and she's this total mom type, and I was like, what if you just chopped your hair and did like a really cute little bob, and she's like, should I? I'm like, do it. I'm a do it person. So she chops it. She looks adorable. I mean, cutest cut in the world. She got pregnant immediately.
Oh, backfired on you.
She's like, well, my husband loved my hair, and I'm pregnant.
That's hilarious. Thanks, Steph.
I was like, great, you're going to be a pregnant mom. Like, you're perfect.
That's so funny. Did she book anything pregnant?
I don't remember. She might have. I don't remember.
For the story's sake, tell me, oh yeah, it was awesome. It's the best booking of her life.
No, you know what? I think her husband booked a Broadway show, and they had to go to New York.
Nice.
Yeah. So she went with him to New York to do a show, I think.
So do you rep anybody outside of LA? Like, would you still rep her in New York, or you don't really have the contacts with the casting directors? It's not
about not having the contacts. It's that our auditions are same day, and they're in person, and they're less than 24 hours notice, and they're not self-tapes. Well, pre-apocalypse. So I can't rep anybody that isn't, more than a 3-hour drive. It just wouldn't work, I mean, I have people that are in San Francisco that are willing to drive it for a national network spot, But other than that, though, I mean, San Diego, I mean, you know, I know Merrick is always willing to drive to San Diego. That's far. Like from San Diego to Santa Barbara is kind of like my,
Uh-huh.
you know,
Well, you know, we used to live in San Diego. And so when he started his career, he was in San Diego and he would drive sometimes every day to LA for auditions. There were times, you probably don't know this, there were times he would come up for an audition and be halfway home, and you would call him and say, Merrick, I have a same day for you. And he would turn around and call me and be like, yeah, I'm going back to LA. And that's when it started doing that. That's pretty much when we moved to LA. We're like, okay, this is
but see,
ridiculous.
you know what though? But that's what makes Merrick Merrick. I mean, that's what makes him a booker, and he works a ton, and he's on every show, and he books the majority of the commercials he goes out for, because he's like, he is a hustler. He says yes, and he does it, and he makes it happen. And it's very rare that I see people do that and then not book it. You know, they're like, it's a mentality.
Oh,
You know,
he loves to work.
yeah, it's this hustler mentality of like just being like, it's a yes person.
Him,
So,
him and I have discussions about how often he says yes to things sometimes.
I know. I say yes to everything.
He does.
There's very few things I
You
say no to. And sometimes it gets me in trouble because sometimes I'm like, I need to start saying no more. But I have this like huge FOMO thing going on that if I say no, I feel like I'm going to miss like the greatest thing to ever happen in life. So I was just always raised to say yes to things and try new things and you know.
I think that makes a good round person. You know, it's we're the same way. I mean, there's very few things. Even if we say yes and we turn around and look at each other like, "Damn it, why did you say yes?" When it's all said and done, we're always glad that we did that experience or did that meeting or did that project or whatever it is, because you learn something out of it. You meet someone. I mean, there's always something. So
Totally. And sometimes I'll have to drag myself and go, oh, I don't want to go to this event, or, you know, but then you go and you're like, and then I come home always. And my husband's always like, so how was it? And I'm always like, all right, it was fun. It was fun. And he's like, see, you said you didn't want to go, you know? So always say yes in this business. I mean, you know,
exactly.
speaking it professionally.
Right. Exactly. We know what we're talking about.
You know what I mean? 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 You know, you get it.
Well, I've really enjoyed chatting with you. Is there anything else you want to make sure that everybody knows before we go?
Just get in touch with me as whoever, if I rep you, get in touch with me and tell me everything going on in your life right now and send me photos, because right now it is just a crazy crapshoot with what they're looking for, and there's no rhyme or reason, and I'm not going to know. And make sure you're friends with us on our private Facebook page, because that's where I put it. I every day I'll put things, who loves to sew, who loves this. If you're not on our Facebook, you've been missing out on everything. And it could be why I haven't heard from you in 6 weeks, because you don't know it's there. But I think I have everybody on there, but there's always those randoms that's like, wait, we have a private Facebook page? So,
That's funny.
who knew? But thank you for inviting me. I love doing these interviews because it keeps my brain going, keeps me working, gets me to shower and brush my hair.
Exactly. So I am going to sit down. I'm going to send you an email when we're done with this with all of my equipment. So, you know, like, hey, Merrick has access to all these things. So you can start submitting him, and maybe I'll just CC Ted in on it so that he'll know, hey, this is our family life right now.
Right. But see, when I know these things, then you're the first people on my mind. So, and that's what actors need to know is if I see a breakdown and it's like, you know, looking for, you know, just it could be a broad range, but it's like must have home equipment, must have a good mic, must have good lighting. I'm immediately going down my list of people first and foremost that have all that stuff. And then my second string and my third string are people that are perfect for it, but I don't know if they have the equipment. I'm just hoping and praying that they do until they tell me the answer. Yeah, because they're all just demanding it right now, and I feel horrible. It makes me feel horrible making actors purchase all these things and just buying and buying and buying and buying. I'm like, oh God, I feel terrible. I don't want you to spend $1 million, but the people that already have it are getting opportunities. So I'm really caught between a rock and a hard place between getting work, getting people out there, and then trying to tell people to spend money that they don't have. So I don't know what else to tell people. And it's really, really hard for me to tell people to go out and spend money. Yeah. Even though I'm like, spend $25 on headshots. I get it.
I know, but right now we do live in a time where you can get a decent light setup on Amazon or a decent, but when you have zero money coming in, $25 could be the difference between, hey, I'm going to go to the grocery store or I'm going to upload a headshot. And believe me, that's real for a lot of us. So
I know. No, and I'm definitely not. I'm definitely, human, that if you have to choose, I mean, first of all, I want to help and I want to do whatever I can, and I've been donating to so many things and places and people, and it just breaks my heart that, sometimes I just have to turn the TV off, just so I'm not like crying and, trying to help everybody until I'm broke,
No, it's a real thing. I mean, we have some friends that, that are just really going through it right now. So,
Yeah, I know. It sucks. We're all
in the same boat. And I think the one fun thing is I have seen a lot of amazing humanity, things.
Yes. Well, there was something that I saw the other day that says we are not on the same boat, but we are all in the same ocean. We're all just on different, I don't remember, it was like a poem or something, but it was about we're all in different levels right now. And we're all in different feelings and emotions and financially and political. I mean, we're all in the same situation, but it's not the same boat. It's, I'm sorry, I wish I knew what it was, but it's something about we're all in this strange world right now, but we're all in different places in that strange world.
But I feel like people are more compassionate about it. Not like, well, if they would just work harder, they wouldn't be hungry right now. I think people are like, wow, they were struggling, they were doing the best they can, and now crap,
Right. But that's why I go back to that casting director thing. Like, I hope they're giving talent agents an opportunity to submit and not just picking, 5 talent agencies and then giving them 30 appointments. It's like, I know that they're under a time constraint, and that's really what it's about, is that the time that they have. But I also think it's important not to put talent agencies out of business. So I worry about that, but I don't know, just a thought, but today's a good day, and we've gotten breakdowns today. I have self-tapes due today, and I have 4 callbacks today, which is a huge deal. So hopefully we'll get a booking soon. And then, hoping for a booking. I'm like, come on, April. It's so weird. Yeah, this was never something I ever had to deal with. And now I'm dealing with it, and now I'm learning it. And it's like not my favorite thing in the world. And I'm more about being in person, but I'm trying the best I can.
I never thought I would enjoy a Zoom chat, but I'm telling you, this is the highlight of my day, Steph, hanging out with you.
Hey! Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Well, keep doing what you're doing, girl.
Stay creative, stay healthy, stay inside. And
good.
Now, people, even if they're not your clients, they can follow you on your social media, yeah?
Yep, Avalon Agent Steph.
And I'll have that down.
Yep, or Avalon Artists. You can either one, Avalon Artists or Avalon Agent Steph. That's my personal one. Either one.
Awesome.
Follow me, friend me. We're all in this together in this crazy, crazy time.
And we'll round up a casting director, and we'll bug them. We'll ask them some questions. We'll do that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching and spending the time hanging out with us. Make sure you follow me on YouTube, all my social medias, and follow Stephany. I always get confused because when you record it, you look like you're here, but I think you're actually here. I think so. I don't know. Follow Steph.
Waka, waka, waka. Right here. My name is right there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Have a great week. I'll see you next week. Thank you, Stephany.
Bye.
Bye.